Have you ever wondered who, or what, God is in the great spiritual traditions of the East? In the West, we often picture God as a person, a creator, a judge, a heavenly father, but in the East, the divine is something else entirely. Sometimes, it's a force, sometimes, a principle, sometimes, there is no God at all. In this video, we'll journey through Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism, and Shinto to uncover how each tradition sees the ultimate reality. This is a journey beyond names, beyond forms, into the soul of the East. Part 1. A Tale of Two Worlds, God in West versus East. Let's begin with a simple contrast. In Western religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, God is personal, singular, omnipotent, omniscient, and often masculine. He creates the world, sets moral laws, and watches over humanity. You can pray to him. He listens. But in the Eastern world, the idea of God is far more fluid. There may be thousands of gods, or no God at all. The divine may not be a person, but a principle, not a ruler, but a presence. So why is this? Western religions are often rooted in revelation, a divine message given from above. Eastern religions often begin with experience, mystical insight, philosophical reflection, or direct union with reality. Let's start where it all began, India. Part 2. Hinduism, God beyond names. 1. Brahman, the one beyond all. In Hinduism, the ultimate reality is called Brahman, not a god in the sky, not a person with emotions, but the unchanging, infinite, eternal reality that underlies everything. Brahman is not a being. It is being itself. It is pure consciousness, pure existence. Brahman cannot be seen, heard, or touched. It is beyond time and space. It cannot be fully described. And yet, it is in everything. As the Chandogya Upanishad says, Tat ti vam asi, that thou art. You are not separate from the divine. You are the divine. 2. Atman equals Brahman. This leads to a radical idea. Your Atman, your true self, is not different from Brahman. The goal of life in Hinduism is moksha, liberation, when you realize your soul is one with the divine. So Hinduism is not polytheistic in the usual sense. Yes, there are many gods, Shiva, Vishnu, Lakshmi, Kali, and more, but they are manifestations of Brahman. They are different aspects of the same ultimate reality. Imagine light passing through a prism, one white source, many colors. 3. Bhakti and God as personal. But Hinduism also allows for a personal relationship with God. Through bhakti, devotion, believers can love and worship a form of the divine, like Krishna, Rama, or Ganesha. So Hinduism holds both ideas. God as impersonal, Brahman, and personal, Ishvara. Transcendent and immanent, one and many. It is one of the most complex, flexible, and mystical views of the divine ever conceived. Part 3. Buddhism, no God, just truth. At first glance, Buddhism may seem like an atheist religion. 1. No creator God. The Buddha never claimed to be God. He didn't teach about a creator. Instead, he taught the Dharma, the truth about life, suffering, and liberation. To the Buddha, asking, who created the world, is like asking, what's north of the North Pole? It's the wrong question. What matters is this: why do we suffer, and how can we be free? 2. Emptiness and impermanence. Buddhism teaches that everything is impermanent, interdependent, and ultimately empty of a fixed self. Even the soul is an illusion. There is no eternal being watching over us, just the cycle of samsara, rebirth, governed by karma. Yet this doesn't mean Buddhism is dry or materialistic. It's deeply spiritual. When Buddhists meditate, they are seeking nirvana, the end of craving, the end of ego, the end of suffering. Not union with God, but freedom from illusion. 3. Is Buddha God? Over time, some Buddhist traditions began to revere the Buddha almost as a divine figure. In Mahayana Buddhism, celestial Buddhas like Amitabha or Avalokiteshvara emerge. But even then, the focus is not on worshipping a supreme being. It's about awakening the Buddha nature within. In that sense, the divine is not out there. It's the potential inside you. Part 4. Taoism, God as the way. From India, We now move to China, and to one of the most poetic views of ultimate reality, Taoism. 1. The Tao that cannot be named. The Tao is not a god. It has no face, no gender, no will. It is the way, the fundamental flow of the universe, the source from which all things arise and to which they return. As the Tao Te Ching says, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the true name. Taoism teaches us to align with the Tao, not to conquer nature, but to harmonize with it. This is the path of Wu Wei, effortless action, going with the flow. 2. Nature is sacred. Taoism sees the divine in nature, in the flow of water, the balance of yin and yang, the silence of the forest. There are gods in Taoist folklore, immortals, spirits, but these are secondary. The real focus is on the Tao, the silent mystery behind all things. So in Taoism, God is not a being. God is being itself. Sound familiar? It echoes the Brahman of Hinduism. Part 5. Confucianism, the moral order. Now, let's turn to Confucianism, also from China. Here, the focus shifts from metaphysics to ethics. 1. Tian, heaven as moral principle. Confucius didn't talk much about God, but he spoke of Tian, heaven, as a moral force guiding human society. Tian is not a god in the Western sense. It doesn't speak, it doesn't intervene, but it represents the natural order, the moral structure of the world. To live well is to live in harmony with Tian, by practicing Ren, humaneness, Li, ritual propriety, and Yi, righteousness. So in Confucianism, the divine is not worshipped, but honored through moral behavior. Part 6. Shinto, gods of the land. Finally, we arrive in Japan, and the native religion called Shinto. Shinto is deeply rooted in nature and ancestral reverence. 1. Kami, the spirits of all things. In Shinto, the divine is found in the kami, spiritual beings that inhabit trees, rivers, mountains, and even people. There is no one supreme god in Shinto. Instead, there are millions of kami, each representing the sacredness of the world. The sun goddess Amaterasu is one of the most revered kami. She is seen as the ancestral deity of the Japanese imperial family. 2. Rituals over doctrines. Shinto has no founder, no sacred book, and no dogma. Instead, it emphasizes ritual purity, seasonal festivals, and respect for nature. The divine is not a distant judge, but a living presence in the land. The seasons, and the family. Part 7. The divine thread, comparing Eastern paths. Let's step back. What do these religions share, and how are they different? Differences. Hinduism. One ultimate reality, Brahman, expressed through many gods. Buddhism. No god. Focus on liberation through inner transformation. Taoism. God as the impersonal Tao, mystical, ungraspable. Confucianism. God as moral order, Tian, emphasis on ethics. Shinto. Many gods, kami, sacredness of nature and ancestors. Shared themes. Despite their differences, these paths share powerful insights. The divine is within, not only above. Unity behind diversity, many forms. One source. Mystery over certainty. The sacred cannot always be named. Harmony with nature. The universe is not a battleground, but a dance. Conclusion. God beyond labels. So, who is God in the East? Sometimes, the divine is a cosmic principle. Sometimes, a personal being. Sometimes, a quiet emptiness. Sometimes, the very breath of nature. In the East, God is not limited to a single form or definition. The question is not, who is God? But rather, how can I live in harmony with the mystery that surrounds and sustains me? Whether you bow to Krishna, seek Nirvana, follow the Tao, or honor the kami, you are walking a path that honors something greater than yourself. Something deeper than language. Something sacred. And that may be the truest name of all. Mystery.